Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to see so many long-term champions of corporate governance in Mongolia. This being the 8th Corporate Governance Forum, and as in all these reforms, it takes really dedicated commitment. And so, first, from IFC as a partner, we want to thank you for your supporting, working with us, specifically MP Amarjagao, for being one of the founders, champion for corporate governance in Mongolia. Also, Ms. Nantuya of FRC, Ms. Sanajush of the Corporate Governance Development Center, and honored guests. Maybe I can start with sharing some good news. Yesterday, IFC relaunched the 2016 Doing Business Report. This came out globally. There was some new methodology, but bottom line is that Mongolia ranked 56 out of 189. This is a very good result for Mongolia, and for East Asia Pacific, this is an excellent ranking. Just to put in perspective, this is 6 after the big Asian tigers, Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Taiwan, Thailand. So one of the features of Mongolia improvements in doing business over the years that was highlighted during this launch was corporate governance, specifically in the disclosures of related party with listed companies and with in the regulation. So I just want to highlight that corporate governance play a huge role in the improvement of the doing business environment here in Mongolia. Now this 8th conference is about disclosure and transparency. Disclosure and transparency is not about following rules and complying with regulations. It's not about some sense of investigation and showing what's wrong with companies. And also it's not about this simply for an external audience. What disclosure and transparency is in spirit and in good practice is actually building trust. Building trust among the companies inside, because many of the internal management and staff of companies also rely on such disclosure and transparency to operate and to be part of the direction of the company. But also it's building trust among companies and shareholders and investors. And this is critically important for a growing country like Mongolia, especially during this challenging time. But as we look forward, we're very optimistic that the growth recovery will come soon, and there will be, in the near future, many interested investors, local investors, domestic investors, as well as international investors that will start to look and be very attracted to Mongolia and Mongolian companies. So it's actually during these tough times that to work on the challenges of disclosures and transparencies, this actually builds the foundation for when the economic recovery comes. Many more Mongolian companies, listed companies, would then be ready to be attracting investment both from domestic investors and foreign investors. So, as Mr. Amarjagao stated, reporting is not simply about just financial situation, but globally what we see is the trend. More and more companies are reporting and putting out annual reports that look beyond the financials. They talk about strategy, they talk about vision, talk about sustainability. So many of these things are becoming more interesting for potential investors because they want to see the strategy and the direction of the companies. Now, we have to be very candid. In Mongolia, as in many emerging markets, the reporting and disclosure is still at a weak state. There's many room for improvement, but again, this is not just Mongolia. Many emerging markets face the same issue. So when IFC did a scorecard exercise for top listed companies in 2013, the score was very evident that there is still a lot of room for improvement with respect to disclosure and reporting, and also not just doing it, but having quality information being presented. But to end on an optimistic note, I think again all these reforms are in a very long term. Previously, when I was working in Vietnam, I remember when Vietnam stock market just opened, it was also many big expectations, but many investors were not interested because of similar problems with disclosure, transparency. But over the decades, Vietnam also was able to work on these things, and now the stock market is very attractive to many foreign investors. And so we're confident that with the commitment, the champions that we have in this room, the dedication to work on this with partners in government, in FRC, in the Corporate Governance Center, that very soon Mongolia will get there, and that when the economic growth starts to happen again, many companies would then be more ready and attracting more investment from domestic and foreign investors. So thank you again for allowing IFC to be a partner in this journey.